Okay, so we're going to do an end-to-end process for what I go through when I am trying to enroll a new prospect into a sequence in HubSpot. So hopefully you followed through and gotten all your account stuff set up so that you can sort of watch this and understand some of the psychology stuff for how you can implement it in your sequences. It might run a little bit long, but I think that it'll be sort of helpful to watch me go through the process that I go through of how to sort of pick, how to sort of identify prospects, how to sort of do some background details to sort of understand if they're going to be a good fit, and personalizing those emails. So in Sales Navigator, I've got my proper filters, and so I want to target for this type of sequence, digital marketing managers with less than 1 year of experience in the United States. Okay, because that's our customer profile. We want to have people who are managers, but still sort of the day-to-day implementers as well. And so, always be sort of thinking with, who is my end customer in mind. And so, going through, I've selected a couple contacts that just to make sure that this goes smoothly, to make sure that And so Vicky Sarmiento, Director of Marketing at FeedMob. So let's say that we look at Vicky and we're like, wow, I want to see what FeedMob is about. So we decide that I want to go into Vicky. Well, the first thing that I want to do is I want to open up 2 tabs. And so if I command click on her name and command click on FeedMob, then these different tabs show up. So I've already clicked on these so that we have access to these. The next thing that I want to do is I want to get a background about what FeedMob is. Okay, I want to say, because there's always going to be a description about what they do. And if I still think, okay, this is great, I might go down and look at their decision makers to see if there's other people besides the Director of Marketing that are, someone I want to talk to. And I can see the employee count. I want to sort of target lower employee count companies. The next thing that I would do is look at their website, because this is how I want to personalize some of the demo stuff. And so, because HubSpot allows you to do some really cool stuff with video demos as well. So clicking into that, I can open up their website and get a better idea about what the company does and if it's going to be a good fit as a client. And so, as just sort of recapping what our steps have been so far, our target prospect is going to be a person, right? But in the end, you're also targeting companies a lot of times, right? So you're going to see what sort of offering you can give, what sort of value you can provide for those individual companies. And so taking a look at their website, I can go, we can help here, we can help here. I want to get an idea about how we're going to be able to provide value to them, because the initial email is super important in being able to make that value connection, right? That sort of, it's not that they're trying to put a ring on it immediately, but you do want to make that initial first impression that you are personalizing this stuff based upon things that you've gone and done. And so some of the prospecting stuff, the sales stuff is very tedious, right? Because as I recommend it, it should be that per prospect, and within a company, you might have 2 so like if you find a prospect and then you find a company that you think is a good fit, you might have 1, 2, or 3 prospects that you want to sort of send it out to because you think the company is a good fit. And within that company, there might be 3 individuals. And so, if I'm going back to the original search, when I find Vicky and I say, okay, Director of Marketing, that's a good thing. Let's go in and look at who else is involved. And I look at the decision makers and I go, who else would be making a decision along with Vicky? Who might find this important? I go, okay, maybe the co-founder, CEO, maybe that's too high level. There might be another marketing manager that I'd want to keep in on it. So you want to keep the decision makers involved. And so that's not all of them either. So I would click into this because that just makes is the recommended leads. Then, going into who Vicky is as a person, so being able to click on her and just understand some of her background and what she has done in the past. She seems to be done a lot of marketing, right? So we just want to get an idea of who she is, just in case you want to personalize it specifically for her, okay? And obviously, once you get good at this, it goes a little bit faster, but kind of explaining my thought process about how this, being able to sort of get a full picture about who she is, who are the other decision makers and key players that we might want to reach out to, and then being able to get an idea about what the company does so that we can personalize those emails. Next, what I would do is, so I've already pressed find, okay, but after pressing find, you want to click view, okay, because we want to make sure that the people that we're adding, because sometimes it's not 100%, right? Sometimes they don't find the right contact details. Sometimes the contact details are not the contact details that we wanted. Let's see if I can do this on this. So you'll see here, this is the detail page for the the customer persona we find. It has contact details for other entities, right? So there's some for FeedMob, there's some for her past roles. Okay, so you want to be able to select which option you want to be able to do. So a lot of times, if you do this from this page, from the main search page, it doesn't give you that drop down option, and so you might end up in Seamless AI looking at Vicky Sarmiento. You just want to confirm that it's the correct email and contact information related to the sequence that you're going to be going through. If it ends up being a sequence where you have some phone calls and there's no phone call information, you might try one of the other sequences to see if you can sort of blend those together. So this is why there's so much personalization that comes with adding each contact. This process isn't for just rapid adding hundreds or thousands of contacts to your CRM just because you're able to. That's a recipe for failed campaigns. So this is more about quality over quantity. And so confirming that you have that information and anybody else that you're adding in, we then want to move into our outbound cadence. And I've already confirmed that she's that I'm able to access her contact information from this enrollment. Make sure you're in the right enrollment, but as you can see here, I've clicked that in and it's automatically via Seamless, so LinkedIn to Seamless, and then now it's automatically sending that into our contacts, and then we can go from prospecting, making sure this is the right person, to enrolling this person. So clicking next. Now we just want to take all that information about who we know as Vicky and what we know about each of these individual companies. Going through your company website, I've identified a few key places, and so way 1, way 2, way 3. And so if you know that you can help this company by maybe you're a web development company, maybe you're just whatever your background is, right? You want to come up with 3 unique ways and personalized ways. You want to set yourself apart that you are actually on their website and you can help them add value in specific ways. So way 1, for an example, might be, at least for Growthhound, it might be improve accountability for growth goals on your forms. Okay, and so next would be track progress of your social platforms on your website. Okay, the next thing is really cool. Okay, and I just realized that I've actually lost access to this, and I'm talking with support. This is an upgrade, but I have one that I sent while I was on the trial, and I will be upgrading. But I want to show you what it is. And so you can actually include a personalized micro demo. And this is sort of the ultimate look, I'm creating this specific video for you as an introduction and why I think I can help you. So you have to get sort of confident of talking in front of a camera. And practice makes perfect, but I want to show you what it is. So this is actually an email that I've sent in a sequence. And so this is Paul and his company. and I get to name it. And what ends up happening is Paul sees this this image and this link, right? And so this is the last email, right? So Paul has not responded to our sequence just yet. And you can see my whole sequence here, right? Cheers, Archer Hobson. So I have some, this signature, and but the thing that sticks out the most, obviously, right, is in case you haven't had the chance to view yet, I created a personalized micro video demo walkthrough, and so Paul can click this, and it'll open up this link where he can go, and I've actually created a personalized micro demo for him, and so he can watch this whole thing, and I'll get data and feedback whether or not Paul ended up watching that video. But it gives me an opportunity to say, hey Paul, I went through your entire website, created this video for you. And so you can imagine that's very personalized, that's very time consuming, and so this whole process is about quality over quantity. And so going back into the sequence, I don't have that ability right now just because the account hasn't actually been, I haven't upgraded the account just yet, but you're able to insert that from here, and so you can insert that obviously, but it's a lot more. I think it's a $500 a month at the time of this recording. But the idea behind this is that some of the psychology, I like to start with, hey look, I am interrupting your space. So apologies for the cold outreach. I know that emails like these can be a bit intrusive, so I'll keep it to the point and not waste your time more than I already am. You're respectful. You're acknowledging that you're, interrupting their inbox, because nobody likes to receive sales stuff. And so the best thing that you can do is be respectful, be humble, and then personalize the hell out of the email, so that at least when they watch it, or if they decide that to give it a chance, that they know that you've spent time looking at their website, identifying who they are. And so a lot of times, for each contact, I find that on a really good cadence, I'm spending probably close to anywhere 5 to 10 minutes personalizing. Now, some of the personalizing stuff here gets repetitive, right? Making the video is a harder part because it's actually a micro demo. Like, our goal as a company is to get demos, right? But a lot of people don't want to sit down for a 30-minute Q&A demo, right? And so creating a so-called micro demo allows them to learn about our company, allows me to personalize it for them in a smaller, snackable format that's more engaging because it's video, and it gives them the opportunity to look at it and go, yeah, we don't need that, like we don't have any money or whatever. They don't have to interact with us, but you at least get the message across. So that's a double-edged sword, right? Because if you send it off and it's not very good, the first impression, or if you don't leave them wanting more, then you potentially miss out on the opportunity for a second step. I view it as, look, you only get one opportunity to sort of customize that first impression, and you want to make it a good one. So maybe make the videos shorter. Don't sort of reveal all of your tips and secrets. But as you can see, there's two opportunities in this first email for personalization. One is, finding stuff about them, or finding stuff about the company where you think you can specifically help them do their job better. And then the next would be that micro demo that allows you to sort of personalize that and provide something that's super engaging and personal. The next one, then the connection requests. So each one of these within HubSpot and a lot of the CRMs come with automated task assignment. So when you press start sequence, that thing sets a timer basically, and it'll notify you. So you can download their mobile applications, or I get automated email response and notifications on my mobile application for HubSpot. And so basically all you have to do is start these things, do X amount a day, personalize the hell out of them, and then wait for the tasks to show up to go and do the tasks. And all of that data that you set up, from LinkedIn. If you need to go sort of send a connection request on LinkedIn, the profile will be right from the mobile application, so you can do that, as quickly as possible. So all of this is about, being efficient, like as efficient and high quality personalization as possible. And so the connection request, obviously you have that template now. Experiment with what's working and what isn't. Experiment with some stuff to see if you're sort of, intuition is saying that one of these things, you're getting connection requests, but they're not actually doing the demos. I mean, people do that. People connect, and then you'll send them a message, and then they just will never respond to anything. They're busy, man. Especially if you're trying to talk to sort of higher level executives. The second email, so remember this. You're personalizing each of these things, but I tend to follow this sort of cadence. The first one is highly personalized, okay, and I personalize it with that video, okay, with the micro demo. The second one, I include another video demo, but it's a default demo, okay? So it gives me an opportunity to talk more specifically about our feature set. For you, it may be, if you're a service offering, or, maybe you're not in the tech space at all, maybe it gives you an opportunity to talk something specific about your business, or who you are and what services you're offering. So for us, I include another video of sort of an important feature set that I think that they would find valuable. So the video stuff is super cool. It's pretty new at this point, so it's a bit of an untapped resource. And then the last two emails, so 3 business days later, I do the, hey, I'm sorry I haven't been able to connect. Again, I know how hectic things can get at work. So you sort of understand and sort of feel for them about why, they haven't been able to respond, and then sending along a little bit more demo. And, the thing is that you should really experiment with this. I mean, it's about, not everything is going to work, right? I mean, if you saw my account, there were different versions of my cadence, and what ends up happening is that some have high open rates, but they don't have good response rates. And so you need enough, statistical data to be able to understand if, first off, if your subject line is getting opened for your email, then are people doing meeting requests. And that could be a number of different things. It could be that, you're not you're jumping the gun, and that, you're not sending enough information, or asking for a big ask too soon because you want to send along more info. Because this whole thing is about, phishing in a sense, right? It's about maybe not catching it on the first email, but structuring it so that at least by the last one, you're getting on average a good meeting rate, because but while also not spending too much time. And so finding that balance that works for you. But this stuff is, it just takes a lot of time to be able to customize it and get quality results back. So at the end, be able to call during weekends or before after work, so you're showing them that you're open to other stuff, and and empathizing with them that their job is very busy, but you still feel like you have value. You want to be able to talk to them about something. That last one is a bit of the sales trick, I suppose. Permission to close your file. It's like the breakup email, right? And the thing is that you should experiment with this stuff. If you're not comfortable with some of the things, I've definitely changed emails for things that I just didn't feel comfortable with, because I'd rather sort of empathize with them as a person that I don't really like to do the sales outreach stuff, but I do have this sort of valuable offering for you. And then lastly, I typically include a video in there as well. So each one of those I have basically inundate them with an individualized video. And this last one is the same video that I had in the first one, just because they obviously, if they're getting this, if they're getting this last one and they haven't responded yet, but they maybe still haven't watched the video, maybe they didn't want to have time. This is sort of that last opportunity to show, hey, look, I personalized this for you. Please take a look and get back to me. Because after that, there's, it's the end of the sequence. And so start the sequence. I'm not going to start it for them because I haven't personalized any of this stuff just yet, or to the level that I'd, feel comfortable sort of sending it out. But make sure that there aren't any odd typos. If you're personalizing it with like the templates, the first name, sometimes the name just looks a little wonky. Or if their company, if you're saying, hey, I looked at company name, look where you're personalizing it to make sure that there aren't odd typos. Because what happens is that sometimes you do something and it's supposed to be plural on the company. Like if I looked at feed mob 's website, right, as a plural or as possessive, then sometimes it's just like if somebody has blah 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 LLC, they just have weird naming stuff, and so you want to customize and personalize that so it doesn't look weird when like it was written by, or you just don't want it to look like it was an automated email as much as possible, and that it was personalized. And so if you keep these simple and then just review each one and go end to end. I mean, end to end, it really should take you about, if you get good at it from prospecting end to end, it should take you anywhere from between 5 and 10 minutes. Which isn't a ton, right? It's not that you're sort of adding 1,000 people and sending it in, but you are personalizing it, and I think you're giving yourself a better opportunity for success. So that's the end-to-end process. Obviously, you can sort of play with it as you will, but my recommendations, now and into the future will always be quality over quantity, personalize as much as possible, hopefully that's insightful for how I thought about setting up these sequences, both from sort of the psychology to the wording to the personalization to my process for actually finding the information to personalize, to even prospect selecting. Okay, that's it. Thanks.